Hello my wonderful oddballs, it's Amy and welcome back to another day of Vlogmas here on my channel. I still don't have a Christmas jumper, but I do have this fancy new Christmas t-shirt. Hey, it's so sparkly. I've said this before, Christmas does not start until you see the Coca-Cola Christmas advert. Holidays are coming. Today I have another festive themed video for you guys and I am going to be sharing 20 crazy Christmas facts. I just uploaded a video about my personal crazy Christmas traditions and this list of crazy Christmas facts just reinforces to me that clearly Christmas is a very strange time for everyone. Some very interesting things go down at Christmas time. So I'm not even going to keep you in suspense any longer. Let's just get into the crazy facts. So we all know that Santa needs to really get a move on if he's going to visit all of the world's homes in one night. But some super smart scientists have worked out that he would need to visit 822 homes a second. That means he would have to travel at 650 miles a second, and he still finds time to take a cookie break in every single house, because clearly his priorities are very similar to mine, aka most important thing, the cookies. My next crazy fact is that the first song to ever be broadcast from outer space was Jingle Bells. Astronauts Stafford and Shira, I'm definitely saying that wrong. I don't think that's how you say that. But they were the first people to ever, I guess, sing from space in 1965, and they opted for Jingle Bells because that is a classic. Another interesting fact about the song Jingle Bells is that it was never actually meant to be a Christmas song. Originally, it was written as a Thanksgiving song, and people just loved it so much that they changed all the lyrics to fit it to Christmas, and they were like, hey, this is for Christmas now. My next weird fact is about Christmas pudding, which is a really big deal in the UK, but I have never been able to get on board with that. I mean, it's a cake full of fruit. Why are you trying to put fruit in cake? Cake is meant to be unhealthy. That is not where I'm trying to get my 5 a day. Anyway, did you know that originally Christmas pudding was a soup made with raisins and wine? My next fact is that Sir Paul McCartney earns nearly $500,000 every year for his Christmas song, Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time, which a lot of people say is a terrible song, but is one of my absolute faves. The mood is right, the spirit's up, we're here tonight, and that's enough. I don't know for sure how reliable this next fact is, but I would love it if this was true. So apparently in 1867, an industrialist heard Charles Dickens reading A Christmas Carol, and he thought it was so great, and he was so moved that he decided to close his factory on Christmas Day and buy every one of his employees a turkey. How great would that be if that was true? I love that. I would love if that fact was true. So my next fact goes back to World War II. So there was this playing card company called Bicycle, and they started manufacturing these really special playing cards that had escape route maps on them for prisoners of war. So you could take one, and if you soaked it in water, then it would reveal this escape route map. Needless to say, a bunch of prisoners of war ended up getting those sent to them as Christmas gifts, and apparently the Nazis were none the wiser. My next crazy fact that really did blow my mind when I read it this morning was that you would have to use an artificial Christmas tree for 20 years before it became greener than using a real Christmas tree every year. This next fact I absolutely love, and it's about the Nord Santa Tracker app and the website that you can go on. If you haven't used it, so much fun. I use it with my niece and nephew every year, and you can go on their website and it will tell you where in the world Santa is, what time zone he's in, like how many presents he's delivered over the course of the evening, and it's really great fun. But this fact is about how all of that came about. So in 1955, the American shop Sears decided that they would post kind of like a hotline to Santa in a newspaper ad, and then kids would be able to call up and speak to Santa one-to-one on the phone. But there was an awkward moment where there was a misprint in the ad, and instead of giving the number to the Sears Santa hotline, they accidentally gave the top secret number for the Director of Operations for the US Continental Air Defense. Awkward! Except the good news is the guy guy in charge was clearly in a festive frame of mind, and he told all his staff that instead of like hanging up on these children and saying, "How did you get this number?" to just give them information about Santa and his whereabouts. And over the years, that has evolved into the Santa tracking app that we all know and love. So next I have another fact about Santa, and a lot of people think that the reason Santa wears red is because of our good friends, the Coca-Cola company, who have somehow become synonymous with Christmas. That was great marketing, like how did that happen? But everyone thinks that before that Santa wore green or he wore blue, and like they invented the whole Santa wearing red thing, and that's not true. Santa was depicted wearing red as early as 1868, which was way before Coca-Cola were doing the whole holidays are coming thing. There were a lot of drawings and paintings and adverts of Santa wearing red before Coca-Cola came along, but a lot of people were still depicting him wearing green and blue at the same time. So I think when Coca-Cola came along and pushed out that big advertising campaign, they kind of cemented the whole Santa wearing red thing. And red just works for Christmas, just goes. My next bizarre Christmas fact takes us to the home of many bizarre facts, Japan. So since 1974, thanks to an insanely successful marketing campaign, the traditional Christmas dinner of Japan has become KFC. An estimated 6.3 million Japanese families will sit down to a KFC at Christmas time. And I read that there's a 2-week waiting list if you want a KFC at Christmas in Japan. I suppose really it is no weirder than associating Coca-Cola with Christmas when you think about it. It just, I don't know, something about Kentucky Fried Chicken at Christmas. I don't know. My next Christmas fact is a little bit strange and creepy. So traditionally in Iceland, they have these 13 Yule lads, and kids will leave shoes out for these Yule lads on the 13 days leading up to Christmas. And then maybe if they've been good, like they get a little gift. And then if they've been bad, they get rotten potatoes in their shoes. I also read that in the 19th century, parents became officially prohibited from using these trolls to terrify their children into being good. For our next crazy Christmas fact, we are returning to Santa. So I think most people know this, but the figure of Santa Claus actually evolved from a real life person, Saint Nicholas. So he was a Christian bishop in the 4th century AD in a part of the world that is now called Turkey. And he came into a lot of money and was a pretty good guy and decided to, you know, share the wealth and give it all away to the poor people. So he became a saint because obviously he was a really great guy, and then he's known as the protector of the children. My next fact is that the whole Christmas stocking thing comes from a legend about Saint Nicholas. So the legend goes that there was this poor man and he had 3 daughters and he couldn't afford to give them a dowry. And if you don't know what that is, it was like, I think in some parts of the world they may still have it, but definitely in olden times, like if you wanted someone to marry your daughter, you'd also have to give them a gift, like some gold or like a sheep, I don't know. So this guy couldn't afford a dowry for any of his daughters, and Saint Nicholas comes along, being the good guy that he is, and he dropped like a bag of gold down the chimney, which I guess is where the whole chimney thing comes from as well when you think about it. Anyway, the gold falls down the chimney and lands into one of the girls' stockings that was hanging by the fire, and that's where the whole stocking thing comes from, apparently. So says Google. My next fact really is pretty insane, and it is that 6 million rolls of sellotape will be sold on the run up to Christmas just in the UK. This next fact is not only insane, but really quite sad. And it's that £700 million is spent every year on unwanted Christmas gifts. If you are looking to buy gifts that aren't going to be unwanted and aren't going to like fall into that £700 million void this year, then I have some Christmas gift guides of things that I think will actually get a lot of use and be loved. So I will link those down below. My next fact is about Christmas movies. The highest grossing Christmas film of all time was The Grinch. The one with Jim Carrey, not the cartoon. This next fact really speaks to me, and it is that the average Brit will consume a whopping 7,000 calories on Christmas Day. I don't even just do that on Christmas Day. I feel like I do that on like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, the 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. 31st, and then I'm like, okay, it's New Year, time to like stop doing that now. My next fact is about Santa's sleigh, and how did that come to be, I hear you cry? Well, the whole idea of Santa having a flying sleigh was created in 1819 by Washington Irving, who was the same guy who created the Headless Horseman. Who would have thought that one man could come up with one thing that is so joyful and lovely and wonderful, and another thing that is so downright terrifying? And my last fact is that on average, approximately 28 Lego sets are sold every second on the lead up to Christmas. So there you have it. I think we've all learned something today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you learned something new. I hope that it helped you to get into the festive spirit. If you enjoyed, then please go ahead and give it a thumbs up to let me know. I love when you guys do that. You could make that an early Christmas present to me, maybe. If you haven't already, then please go ahead and click that subscribe button to become a member of our Oddball family. We would love to have you join us. And for those of you who are already subscribed, thank you guys so much. You are my oddballs and I love you. And until next time, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all soon. Bye.